Summer heat returns to our forecast. I'm ABC 10 Chief Meteorologist Monica Woods, getting into the first full week of summer. Now, it was a cool weekend for us, and we had some dangerous weather in the Sierra, some of which was thunderstorm activity and even some Sierra snow. You can see we're still dealing with some of that thunderstorm activity in the high country heading into our Monday. But this is the last day that we're really going to see the active weather. Still have a chance of some light showers, but that risk of thunderstorm extends through the Tahoe Basin and southward towards Yosemite as well. This was the scene up at Tahoe with some violent winds that developed during the day. It was mostly just a north wind. It wasn't particularly gusty. It's just the direction which really amplified some of the wave action, and it made for dangerous and deadly conditions. Now, we also had the cool weather, so we saw snow up in the Sierra as well. A lot to track there for the start of our summer season. That cold air in place kept these temperatures below average. We were only topping out at 80 to 83 degrees since the beginning of our summer season. On the summer solstice, we hit that high of 80. Average is 90. Now, we're going to be getting closer to that and, in fact, jumping above it for a couple of days here for the work week. But you can see for the most part, June has been equal, with above normal days and below normal days coming in at 9. So all things considered, a fairly mild start to June, the end of spring and beginning of summer. But again, we're going to get a taste of that temperature switch heading into this week. A few thunderstorms for our Monday, but as that low starts to lose its grip through parts of California, we'll see more in the way of this high pressure ridge sinking warming air in a more stable environment. We'll have a few of those isolated showers pop up tomorrow for our Tuesday forecast, but then things start to quiet down. And for Wednesday, it's a mostly clear day. We'll see a little intrusion of some low cloudiness trying to press its way through the Delta from the Bay Area. That'll be dealing with, at least for the coast, a lot of fog for the start of this week. By the end of the work week and into this upcoming weekend, we're going to see unseasonably warm conditions. So a taste of that summer heat making a return. We'll keep these extended playlists going, as well as our weather explainers, weather and climate specials, always found on ABC 10 Plus. That's free to download wherever you stream on TV. All right, let's take a look at our headlines. Cooling slowly for tonight. We're getting a little bit warmer for the beginning of this week. Now, tomorrow, as we see a little presence of that low pulling in some of that Pacific air, will cool things down slightly. But as we look ahead, the summer heat is back. So we'll see that heat risk build in the forecast as well. Not so much for our Friday. It's kind of peppered throughout the valley, but it starts to expand into our Saturday. By Sunday, it's pretty widespread throughout most of the region. Now, at this point in the season, many people have already adjusted to temperatures in the 90s, but folks that don't have adequate air conditioning or cooling and are sensitive to the heat will be impacted with our temperatures that'll be warming this weekend. Keep in mind, it's been 23 days since we've seen highs in the 100s. The last time we saw that was the end of May. We hit 2 days, the warmest 102 on May 31st. So cooling savings, just to kind of recalibrate here as we start to head in towards the warmer weather. Only use fans when in a room. They cool people, not rooms. Set your air conditioning to 78 degrees. If you can tolerate it, close those drapes and blinds during the day. Kind of keep that sunlight from warming up the house. And don't use big appliances in the evening because they're just going to heat up the house and it's going to require more air conditioning to cool things down. Another thing to consider is the UV index in the very high category, so definitely wanting to use that SPF 30 or above. Try to limit your time outdoors between 10 and 2, and even a little bit before and after that time frame will certainly help to protect yourself from the UV rays. Our river temperatures are still running quite cold. We're still in the 50s and 60s largely throughout the valley. Same for the Sierra and foothill waters, and Lake Tahoe water temperature is at about 65 degrees right at the surface level. It does get quite a bit colder as you go down towards the lower parts of the lake. Cold water impacts these types of temperatures, again, begin to lose control, difficult to breathe, and we see that time and time again. We're just not seeing those surface waters warm up too much because it has been quite mild. Haven't really seen those big stretches of 100-degree temperatures. So a couple of water precautions if you're headed out to the waterways for the work week. Life vests near water, wear one. Keep a close eye on children, avoiding alcohol, and Keep in mind those cold water impacts and the impacts it has on our breathing and muscle control. Strong currents make for tough rescues, and even at this point in the year, it's going to be tough navigating those cold waters. We've got that low pressure system igniting some of those storms up in the high country, at least for our Monday. Once that starts to lose its grip, we start tracking this high pressure ridge off the coast, and that will continue to gain some steam throughout the course of the week, finally starting to get more strength across California by the time we get into the weekend outlook. Beyond that, we're getting into the 4th of July, so it's just outside of our 10-day forecast, but the Climate Prediction Center is indicating a likely warmer setup throughout Northern California and perhaps likely wetter as well, particularly through the desert Southwest. So if you plan to do some traveling for the 4th of July holiday, just be aware a little bit of monsoonal flow looks like it's going to start to redevelop there throughout the desert Southwest. Our highs for our Tuesday, warming into the 70s for the high country. We're back near average for the foothills in the 70s and 80s. Lower foothills in the 90s. Along the coast, it is going to be quite cool, foggy, 59 degrees for San Francisco after a morning low of 51. So kind of a June gloom across the coast with highs in the 80s by the time we get inland. So once that sunshine peeks through some of that low cloudiness along the coast, we get highs warming back near average. But again, with temperatures that cool along the coast and just a hint of a westerly flow, we are going to keep temperatures within a range of where we normally see them this time of year. That pattern begins to break up by the end of the work week into the weekend. And again, a warmer weekend on tap than what we just saw here for the first weekend of summer. It's cool across the coast, but even the coast starts to warm towards that weekend outlook. A look at our extended outlook. Our first 3 days, we're pretty close to average. Average high about 90 degrees, and we're within a range of about 2 to 4 degrees here. It's not until the weekend that we really start to see those temperatures warm, but even after that, we're a little bit above average, but overall still nothing extreme in our 10-day forecast.